What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, it's been over 7 months since we had that Disney's Investors Day meeting bombshell last year. A ton of brand new Star Wars and Marvel content announced, brand new titles for Disney Plus, casting announcements for upcoming films, and keeping in line how they announced it in San Diego Comic-Con 2019, if they follow again this year with the major announcement, we should get brand new titles for the rest of Phase 4, maybe even the beginnings of Marvel Phase 5. Well, we have some new reveals today coming via the Ronin.com, some brand new production LLCs, as have been revealed in the past. We're going to go ahead and break down what the names of those production LLCs are, try to line them up with projects that we know are coming down the pipeline for Marvel Phase 4 and 5. I'm also going to weigh in on a couple of titles they made mention of, the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, debunking one and offering strong support for another, as we've already had some production updates along the way for the Fantastic Four. We kind of know what's going on there. We're going to break it all down for these production LLC titles, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We're still giving away a PlayStation 5 now at 900,000 subscribers, as well as Disney Plus subscriptions every week while the shows are live, and some brand new MCU related giveaways we'll announce when What If goes live in just a couple of weeks. If you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So again, this broke just hours ago from the Ronin editorial under the headline, multiple Marvel Studios LLCs confirmed for unannounced projects likely to be revealed soon. So not to nitpick, but they really could have left that last clause out of the headline. There are always Marvel Studios LLCs being formed for each new project. I'll explain in a second. And if they keep, like I said, in line with what they do in the prologue, yeah, we're halfway through the year. We probably will be getting another SLATE announcement by the end of the year. I don't think one really leads to the other. They go on to report the Ronin can now confirm the following LLCs are specifically for Marvel Studios projects. Some of these were mentioned previously by us, but we can now confirm they are all for Marvel indeed. They go on to say the 4 titles are Battle Anyone Productions, Acid Pop Productions, Natural History Productions, and Speyside Productions. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the film industry or what a production LLC is, for each new TV show or film under a parent company like Marvel or Disney, they create a new production LLC. That's because each production is really like its own little business, its own expenditures, its own employees, its own write-offs, and in doing so, they usually title the production LLC something meaningful or related to the project. Sometimes, but not always, it can be just something the director wants to name it or an inside joke, but in the past, in the case of, say, Solve Everything, a production LLC we know that was formed by Marvel Studios that directly relates to the Fantastic Four, which, by the way, we're about to get to. They go on to then report after the 4 titles, quote, the identity of these projects is unknown, but you'd have to imagine that things like Captain America 4, X-Men, Blade, John Watts' Fantastic Four reboot, and Deadpool 3 could be among the candidates. Well, at least one of those is incorrect. The Fantastic Four reboot, that production LLC was formed over 12 months ago, and there are several publications available to the public in some places, but usually you have to pay basically a monthly subscription to find them, and it's really for people in the industry, people doing camera work, stunt work, to know what's gone to production. Fantastic Four showed up at the end of last year, so that production LLC was formed a long time ago. With that being off the table, and as I just mentioned, they don't always directly relate to the projects that they're tied to, there are some things we can infer. Now, first of all, the name Battle Anyone Productions is going to immediately signal the word Battle World, and you're going to take Battle World and run with it in Secret Wars. I saw it in this article as well. They mention it and bring it up. I've brought it up loosely myself, but I've also been on good record as saying Secret Wars is not something that they would attempt to do anytime soon in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because if they're doing the most recent iteration, it features one of the highest power set levels of Doctor Doom and God Emperor Doom or God King Doom, depending on how you want to refer to him. That's the white iteration. We don't even have Doctor Doom in the MCU yet, and they just introduced Kang. We've got to get Kang out of the way and start building Doctor Doom, which I assume will happen during the Kang saga and pretty shortly in the MCU, but it doesn't mean Battle World or Secret Wars is anywhere around the corner. They wouldn't start a production LLC this early for a film like that. Battle Anyone Productions puts me in mind of the huge rumor for Deadpool's original film. His entrance to the MCU was Deadpool kills the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and there's been jokes about how they would have written this. He goes back through the history and travels through the timeline, which seemed crazy at the time, but given everything that's happened, no matter how they decide to introduce Deadpool, that sounds like it lines up pretty nicely with what his movie would be all about. Now, as far as Acid Pop Productions, Natural History Productions, and Speyside, anybody's guess is as good as the rest. They go on in this Ronin article to mention that Natural History Productions may have something to do with Savage Land, an earlier entrance for the X-Men. There was a story, a report here at the channel actually in an exclusive where we reported from industry insider Mikey Sutton, this has got to be over a year or a year and a half ago, that talked about loosely Marvel Studios was looking to do the same thing with the X-Men that they had done with other previously owned Marvel entities. That is, introduce them into the MCU in the context that they had never been done before, so that they were doing something new. And we saw this point blank with Spider-Man and how they decided to forego his normal origin story and just let us fill in the blanks. Savage Land was one of the ideas for entry for the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a way to bring in the X-Men new and fresh and pull on all the heartstrings of nostalgia for those who remember Savage Land imagery from the 90s cartoon, which a lot of us do. Even though that may totally be the case, again, I have to remind you for either the second or third time in this video, we are in purely speculative territory only because it's really hard to sometimes attribute these production LLC titles directly to a franchise without any additional information. But hey, that's never stopped us in the past. They mentioned in this article Blade and Captain America 4, two of which we know one officially has suffered some very public delays and has been pushed back in the slate. Captain America 4 not announced till real recently with the completion of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series on Disney+. It's possible that Blade is just now getting a production LLC, even though it was announced all the way back during San Diego Comic-Con 2019 because of the delays that it suffered. It's also possible one of these are Captain America 4, but when you think about Speyside Productions, Speyside, a region of Ireland, I think associated with a whiskey. When I think of whiskey, there's only one Marvel character that immediately comes to mind, Patch Old Man Logan, and we have reported very loosely as a rumor on the channel that Wolverine could be getting his own Disney Plus anthology, and I'm wondering, how long is it going to be before Marvel Studios wants to cash in on that cachet, bring that to the MCU? Disney Plus film doesn't matter. There are only a few superheroes by name in Solo, just their name, like Spider-Man, now Iron Man, that the MCU has built him up, that demand the sort of attention and money that Wolverine will get. And as we continue to get all of these production LLCs, eventually one of them is going to leak out and it's going to be the Wolverine LLC. But much like Secret Wars, I have a feeling Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige are going to be super patient. Just look at the titles they chose to do this year. A lot of them supposedly supposed to come last year off the back of Avengers Endgame, including much lesser known characters like Shang-Chi, groups like the Eternals. They're going to go ahead and take their time before we get there, but man, it's going to be super hype when they do. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below. Again, the four names of the production LLCs are Battle Anyone Productions, Acid Pop Productions, Natural History Productions, and Speyside Productions. If you have any idea, if that puts you in mind of any imagery, any characters, any franchises, I will be reading the comments like a hawk. Let me know down below, and quickly let's get into the giveaway stuff. Before I let you go, we're still giving away a PlayStation 5 now at 900,000 subscribers, as well as Disney Plus subscriptions every week while the shows are live, and we'll be announcing some brand new MCU giveaways when What If goes live in a couple of weeks and we resume those live watch-along parties. So if you want to be entered to win, all the same rules will always apply here at the channel. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content at the channel has always been to hit the notification bell with notifications turned on, and as always, I would appreciate it if you liked today's video, if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me over on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on other platforms with original music, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, wherever you find your music under the name All Fires. Thanks so much for checking out the channel, and stick around, guys. We'll be posting again real soon.